Theme park fans, and welcome to episode 94 of the Ticket Report. My name is Chris Wakefield, and I'm joined by my co-host, Jaalin Harvey.
Hey, y'all.
Really excited to be here. Tommy Hawkins
Hey everyone.
and Ryan Barr.
Howdy.
Perfect. We have a few things to cover, but I think the most important news of the month of the year, practically, is that we finally have an opening date to Universal Studios Epic Universe Park at Universal Studios.
I
Ryan,
thought he was
what
going to
is the
lead with the cake
exact
bake shop. Are we not leading with the cake
what's
bake
the
shop?
exact open to the public date for Epic Universe?
It's May 22nd, 2025.
So me, as a layman, I can walk up that day to the front gate and say, one ticket to Epic Universe, please.
I don't know if
Yeah,
you,
maybe.
maybe. If you're like one of the first 100 people there, who knows? Like, they might have tickets to sell that day, but there might
What
be
year
a
did
queue.
Animal Kingdom open?
98, right?
So this is the first new legit theme park opening, not a water park, Universal. The first legit new theme park opening in almost 3 decades,
Well,
right?
yeah, Islands opened after Animal
In
Kingdom.
Orlando. Islands was after? Was that
Yeah,
'01?
99.
So, okay, so about 25 years. And so this is new to all of us here when it comes to opening up a new park. Um, and the way Universal did this was by releasing tickets in batches and blocks. Who got first crack at the Epic Universe tickets?
The
It's
general
the,
public, technically, but you have
oh,
to
it's the
pay.
package, isn't it?
Yeah, you have to buy the tickets either part of a package or you have to buy them as part of a 3-day ticket where one of the days gives you Epic Universe, but the other two are for Universal Studios and Islands of Adventure. So you can't buy a 1-day park ticket to Epic Universe yet unless you were an annual pass holder, but those are sold out now.
Those have been sold out. So if I want to go to Epic Universe and I'm not an annual pass holder, I have to buy a 3-day package
Yeah.
with hotel or
No, just a 3-day ticket.
okay.
It's like $550, I think.
What do
Um,
we think about that price for 3 days at Universal?
I think if you had unlimited accessibility to Epic Universe, you'd probably be that's a fair deal. I've got a choice of 4 parks I can go to, but when you run the numbers on what you've actually got and the amount of hours you've got in the day and the amount of stuff that's going to be there and the amount of people that also have only got that one single day to do everything, the reality of it is it's probably not that great a deal. Not really.
you would have, if you
Because you're
want more
forced to
than
go
one
to
day,
either
you have to
Universal Orlando or Islands.
say it again.
Because you're forced to go to the other two parks in the 2 days.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and that therein lies the issue that I've got as a UK citizen, that our options are the 14-day ticket, and what they're currently saying. This may change by end of summer next year, but currently what they're saying is that our 14-day ticket, which probably, if I remember rightly, costs around 450, maybe £500. So what's that? $700. Also will only be restricted to one day of Epic Universe, and then
That's insane.
when you run the numbers, when you just run the fact that for me it's a 9,000 mile round trip, you know, the cost of flights is around $1,000. You tell me what the cost of accommodation for 2 weeks in Orlando is, at least the same, if not more like 1,500. You know, ticket, even if you exclude Disney, you're looking at $600 or $700, maybe $800, and then you get one single day. So you're going to go all that way for one day, and then
Now, I want to
maybe
repeat that. So for European visitors or UK visitors, you buy a 14-day ticket, and within that 14-day ticket, they're only giving you 1 day for Epic Universe.
and when I voiced concerns about this on Twitter, people were like, "Oh well, but you can do this, or this is just phase one. You can get tickets." But it's like all of these decisions of traveling in May next year, the amount that you have to save up to be able to travel next year, is that I would have had to have made a decision when this ticket's all dropped. That's what I wanted to do if I wanted to go for opening. And then all the solutions that pretty much everyone was giving me were basically, well, you can throw money at it. That's their option. Oh, you can buy 2 or 3 sets of the 3-day ticket that's got the 1-day Epic in. And for me, that's like, yeah, that still means if I bought 3 sets of this 3-day ticket, it still means 6 or 7 of them days I've got to go to the other 2 parks, whether I want to or not. And let's be real, Universal Studios hasn't got a lot going on for it at the moment. For me, the last trip, it's the park I probably spent the least amount of time at a non-Disney park. I went on Mummy quite a few times. I went on Men in Black quite a few times. Most of the other stuff was one and done, or I didn't go on it at all. So, yeah, you've got Islands Adventure. Yeah, E2. I don't think I did,
Bourne.
Maybe I did.
Bourne is worth a visit.
That's the one thing that I really wanted to, and I didn't go on it. I didn't go to it, and I was like sucked that I didn't get round to it. But yeah, to me, if they'd done what they supposedly wanted to do, which was build a couple of new things to open to coincide with Epic opening, so they didn't cannibalize their own audience, it probably would be worth it. But right now, it's a no. Because what they also have said is in 2026, that ticket that I just described to you, that 14-day, is going to have unlimited access to Epic Universe, the same as all the others. So why would I spend all that money when I can wait 12 months and go in 2026?
Which is, I think that's going to bite Disney in the ass, too, because they have all these plans to open a bunch of stuff in 2026, but, like you said, you could buy a 14-day ticket in 2026 and spend all 14 days at Epic Universe if you wanted to.
100%. And, right, I know it's Twitter. You could say, oh, it's not really scientific and all the rest of it. But I did do a poll. I think pretty much 100 people answered, and it was something like 60% of people were saying they'll wait till 2026. So potentially, Universal are losing, a good chunk, 25-30% of the million Brits that would visit, that are just like, no, I'll put it off another year. And depending on how long,
maybe this is intentional on the part of Universal, is to hold off the excess pressure from European visitors for another year. Maybe they wanted that, and just giving the domestic visitors a chance to do it. And they say, if you want to come from Europe, you're really, really going to pay to come. Where it's almost punitive. We've seen companies do that before.
I would agree if it wasn't for the fact that I sincerely don't think they know either way what kind of visits that they're going to get. That people are going to run the same kind of, sort of calculation in their mind. Is it worth, I've got 4 days to go on vacation. All there really is in Orlando is Epic that's new, and I only get 1 day at Epic. Should I do that trip, or should I go somewhere else? Like you're doing, Chris, you're going on a cruise. Do I do that Orlando trip, or do I do a cruise, or do I do something else, and then just wait another 7 months until I can get in the park unlimited? Um,
I'm saying I think there's enough local demand and top 1% demand from their hardcore fans to keep that park busting at the seams until winter of next year, I bet. And I bet that they're trying to make this punitive to where if you do want to come and we don't want you here, you're really going to pay a premium to be here. Because they want to let some of that demand out of the bottle first, release some of that pressure first with its locals and their hardcore annual pass holders.
but the other unknown is, yes, we've got the hard date of the 22nd of May, but we've been hearing that there's going to be, maybe they won't call it soft opening, maybe it'll be technical rehearsal, whatever they can do, that they can maybe sell a ticket without the pressure of it being right, we're officially opened, and people getting pissed because this ride's not open or this ride's not ready or whatever it may be, that they can possibly release some of that I guess probably, what to coin a Disney term, pent up demand, which they've obviously got for this park, is that maybe if they can get quite a few of the locals to come the month before, that it does put the pressure off on the summer. I just think there's a lot of unknowns at the moment, because I also don't think they fully know when they can start that. And from what we've been hearing, Ministry of Magic itself is 50-50 whether that'll be ready. So who knows?
Right.
Yeah.
And a lot can happen between now and May. That's what, 9 months away? 8 months?
Yeah.
Right. Did you
So
see?
for
So,
me,
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, so for me, just to sort of to speak of the decision I made, I'm still, maybe there's a chance I'll go May, but to be honest with you, I really don't think it's worth it. I would probably, unless they announce, say for example, they get through, like you said, Chris, that demand, they get through to the end of August, and then the demand's sort of waning a little bit, and they decide to release the 14-day tickets with unlimited access to Epic, is that maybe I'll do a last minute trip to in September, or maybe I'll just wait till March, April 2026 and go then. For me, like,
right. Yeah.
in its current form, I don't want to just throw money at the problem and spend twice as much as that I would in, for the sake of 7 months, waiting 7 months, you know?
And
I
then there are
think.
just so many unknowns. And you mentioned my summer cruise that I'm taking next summer to Mexico out of Los Angeles. And Ryan, I was talking to you. I was ready to pull the trigger to go down for a couple of days, and Eric and I would just catch a boat out of Port Canaveral and go down to the Bahamas. But with all the unknowns with the new park opening, I just don't know if it's worth the risk. For someone like me who's got to book a plane and got to book a hotel, and for Jay it's easier. It's a 1 hour drive, but for those of us coming from further away, especially you, Tommy, you've got a lot more invested in this thing working and working right.
Yeah, and just it's probably a question for Jay. If you can get into that park 2, 3, 4 weeks before this official date, or even 5 or 6 weeks, and you've gone in there a few times, you've checked some stuff out, you've pretty much feel like you've done it, are you going to put yourself through the opening day stress? Or are you going to go, you know what, I've done it, I'll pop back later on in the summer?
I guess for me, I'm looking at it like I haven't been to the opening of a theme park probably ever in my life, at least ever in my sentient life. I don't. On top of that, I already put in the PTO. Like I already used that for it, but
Yeah.
I'm probably going to be able to get into it early. But did that stop me from going to Tiana's opening? Did that stop me from going to the opening of Galaxy's Edge? Did that stop me from going even to the opening of fucking Toy Story Land? Like I will
Yeah. I
nicely
guess to
go.
sort of clarify my question is, obviously, yeah, that specific opening date, that it absolutely makes sense why you'd want to go to that. But I'm kind of saying the weeks and months following, what would, are you going to try then, or are you just gonna, what would you do if you've got a decent amount of time soft opening, you've experienced the pure new theme park opening in the first few days or whatever, what are you going to do after that?
Oh. Probably just fuck off to somewhere else. I'm gonna go to Japan, B. I'm just gonna go until they are able to. I'm just gonna go do it then. If some friends would like to go in the future when they come down, I can get a ticket. Yeah, I'll pull up. But for the most part, it's Epic is something that I'm looking at as going to the soft openings and trying that out and going to those previews, going opening day weekend, and then just get ready for my Japan trip that late June, early July. Like I'm not gonna fight to go into something. If you can add it to my pass, 100%, I'll pay for it.
Right.
But I'm not going to keep shelling out fucking money, and I don't think most people are. I think Universal is kidding themselves if they think people are going to be tripping over themselves to get into this park with locals. If we have to pay for it like that, if you really want us to pay for it by piecemeal, granted. Over in Tokyo, that's how things are with Disneyland. There's no APs at Disneyland in Tokyo. You buy a whole ass ticket and you go, and people will show up and do that. But I don't know
Granted,
if,
there it's like $60.
well, for them, that's different. That's a lot of
Yeah.
money to them that they're
Right.
spending based off of their
And
own home.
to clarify what Jay is saying, Epic Universe is not included as of now in a
No,
Universal Orlando annual pass.
no. Hell, the
You're either
website
blocked
didn't even
out or
work
it's
to
just
buy
not.
the
It's
damn
not an option
ticket.
at all. Right.
Like,
So
And I can
it's all
imagine when it's time to renew annual passes, they're either going to jack the price way up, or you're going to have to buy an Epic Universe add-on for the year that'll be north of, and I'm not kidding, probably an extra $400 to $500 in your annual pass
if they think
for the
that
Epic
park is
Universe
worth
add-on.
that, they are fucking kidding themselves.
The way they're pushing this, and from what we're seeing behind the scenes, this is, yeah,
Hey,
but to
if they
me
want
it
to have their
seems
own little Euro Disney experience, let them.
yeah.
it is a total unknown in the sense of like people may take that attitude that Jay's got. A lot of people, if they can get in on the previews and then they've done the opening and then literally because we are talking about a 5 week period possibly leading up to the hard opening date, and then for the locals, and then this we saw this happening with Velocicoaster, right? Yes, I know people rocked up to Velocicoaster opening day. But remember, we had months and months of previews, and a lot of the locals had tapped out by that. We didn't have the same situation as Hagrid's opening, the 10-hour wait, and all the rest of it. But it almost feels like Universal are kind of planning or counting on demand being just like Hagrid's, and that's why they can be like so draconian with these options right now. But I just I don't think they can fully gauge what it's going to be like in terms of demand until
Well,
closer to the time.
it's interesting that they're boxing out certain international folks and getting them in this rigid system. But I understand why to keep the park from being overflooded and to keep the other parks afloat with visitors. I understand that to a certain extent. That does make a lot of sense. But if the entire time that I think Universal is a very interesting park in the sense that it straddles the line of being an international park and a locals park at the same time. And if you're making it harder or kind of trying to pigeonhole international guests into buying a whole ass package, and to Tommy's credit, the other two parks, they have sacrificed the quality of that to supply all of that manpower over to this new epic, this new theme park. I just, why would the people want to go to the other two if you're not, if heck, we don't even, at least with when Islands opened up, they opened up MIB the year afterwards. We don't even know what's going, we don't, they don't have anything on the table for what's going to come to those other two parks. They're focusing all their manpower and everything into Epic. They are, and I honestly think that's going to bite them in the ass.
Yeah,
They
in that respect, it's kind of they're almost behaving like Disney, like sort of
This
the
is some
arrogance
Euro
of.
Disney shit. They're putting all their eggs into one basket, and it's not going to go the way that they think it is.
I
It's
mean,
just, I mean,
They could pull the trigger on Lost Continent any day.
They
And
could,
start.
but that's not going to be the year afterwards. That's not going
Yeah.
to be. I mean, possibly. I mean, Epic opens up next year. Universal builds fast. Yada yada. But are they really going to be able to give us a quality product or a quality Zelda product in a 2 years time
And
if they
also,
haven't even
just
started already?
yeah, because just don't forget that we've been hearing for the best part of this year, it's behind, it's behind. So now what they're doing, because it is delayed, it is behind,
But why is
or
it
it
behind?
was, is they're throwing every single fucking resource at it. To now they've pulled the trigger on the date. They're throwing every single resource at it. And if you look at flyovers of it, the thing that we said for a while would not is going to be the last thing to be ready, the hub, that has got a lot of work to get done. And it might seem like the most silly thing because maybe they are getting most of the rides operating and turning over quite nicely, but you still need that stuff ready. And we don't want a repeat of what happened with Volcano Bay, where all that stuff wasn't ready. That was the stuff that was fucked and not ready. It wasn't the volcano, was it? It was everything else.
Yeah. It was.
I think we
Yeah.
also have to take into account from what I was told when I was over in. I was hanging out with somebody who works for Universal Studios Japan, particularly with maintenance and ops. They 50% of their maintenance budget is being poured into Nintendo. Into that park alone, 50% of the maintaining budget goes into Nintendo. And you're putting Nintendo in a very harsh climate as well over here in Florida. If
Well, it's
all
not like
that
they're
money
building
is
a
being
coaster. It's
sucked up
going to
by
jump
one
different
park,
tracks. So
I mean,
Yeah. I
I
think they're
don't
gonna have
think that
their
I don't
growing
think
pains.
Universal can sustain themselves the way that they're moving. I think they're putting
But
too
also,
much on Epic. I think they don't. They're not like we were talking about not thinking long term in the chat the other day. I don't think they're thinking long term. They're thinking very short sighted and not what's going to happen 5 to 10 years down the road with how
but
some of this stuff is going to be and what this stuff is going to cost.
I also do think that they know they already have a problem, and the stuff that we've heard in terms of rumors, um, we know, like someone quoted me that they got quoted, "Oh, don't worry, Donkey Kong's 1,200 an hour," and I don't believe that's true. I don't even believe that's theoretically true. I would put it at best 1,000 an hour. So you've got stuff that's not going to meet demand. It's not even going to close. It's not even going to be close to meeting demand. So we've heard rumors that they're ready to pull the plug, to pull the trigger on Luigi's Mansion. I think probably because they know that they need to have something in that land specifically, ASAP. Maybe we'll start hearing that they're going to start working 2025, the start of next year on that. We get over the get everything signed off by the county by the end of this year, start of
yeah.
next year, and then they can start looking at new stuff. But I'm pretty sure that they
To be
pretty much.
fair,
But then
to be
again, I think
fair,
it just
no
goes back
e-ticket
to
meets demand when it first opens up.
say that again, Chris. My bad.
To be fair, no e-ticket meets demand, so to speak, when it first opens up. It's really popular, and you're talking about a theme park literally full of groundbreaking e-tickets. So, um,
Yeah, but Donkey Kong
yeah,
wasn't ever
Well,
intended to be a e-ticket. It was meant to be a supplementary D-ticket. It's meant to be that family
well, that's not
supporting
their fault that the
coaster.
fans are super hyped up about it. I mean, if anything, you're criticizing them for building too good of a ride. Oh no, we should have built a flat ride.
And
I mean,
I'm not criticizing them for building too good a ride. I'm criticizing them for building a ride that's super short, and and the and the concept of only 4 people per cart. The people will suffer in terms of capacity and getting on it. That's where they put the concept above the
Well, yeah,
practicality.
in a vacuum, but you're also opening up Yoshi. You're also opening up Mario Kart. You're also opening up Monsters Unchained. You're also opening up a lot of different stuff in that
but is
park. In
all
a
this shit
vacuum by
finna work when
itself,
it opens?
This
yes.
is the Slinky Dog
Is all this
Dash.
shit finna work when it opens?
Of
This.
course not. It's a theme park.
So what are we talking about here? This first year, this thing is going to be rocky, and they
Yeah.
gotta work a lot of this stuff out. But if you're pouring more resources into Epic, then what about the other two parks?
Yeah,
Can
yeah,
they
yeah.
I
sustain
get
that
you.
I
entire
think
resort?
Islands can still carry itself for a while with Forbidden Journey, Spider Man, fucking
Velocicoaster,
Velocicoaster,
That
Hagrid's.
shit's
Hagrid's.
starting to get long in the tooth too. Harry
No,
Potter's starting to look dated. Hagrid's is great, but
Yeah,
what are we gonna do about Forbidden Journey?
Yes, I
timeless,
I
agree with you.
agree. I
timeless
With the
agree
ride,
with you.
Xbox Dragon, the 360
timeless.
Dragon.
Yes,
That's what we talk about here.
it's one of the
The
best
pe-
ever. They had
like
horrible graphics in the Harry Potter movies themselves. Okay, so it doesn't
yes, but
matter.
that was 2007, baby boy. We in 2024. You can't be saying no. Up. You keep
And
saying
I
about how you have all
It
this
was
money in the
part of
world,
the
all this manpower, and all this, that, and the third. Pour it in back into the parks. But clearly, y'all, Echo One just showed up in the parade. They didn't even have money to get the fucking Ghostbusters car. They're pouring all the goddamn shit they're pouring all of the money into Epic. They couldn't even get the
Jay,
Ghostbusters
Yeah,
car.
I agree with you. If I'm in charge of Universal, I'm saying in the first 6 months after Epic opens, I want to be opening up something in Fear Factor. I want to be opening up something in
You
Toon
need
Lagoon
to.
or Matt
You
Hoffman
got
Yeah,
BMX.
to.
That's
yeah.
what I'd be
Toon
saying.
Toon Lagoon needs something, but you should easily be able to change the rest of Jurassic Park to Jurassic World and give us the version from Hollywood and replace Riverview.
But you still
Yes.
but
have
guys, don't forget. I mean, Alicia spoke about it in the past about stuff that was rumored, and then they got to the point where they was going to put something in. There's the whole back and forth with the Potter, like the broomstick ride and all that stuff. There was stuff that they were ready to get in the works to either open
It
for
was
this year or very much into 2025 to balance the parks, and then for whatever reason that didn't happen. So a lot of this stuff was on the cards, and then maybe I'd hate to think that it does come down to like you were talking, Jalen, where it's a resources thing where pandemic fucked them up in that respect, is that they're still trying to play catch up on decent workers and operators and all the rest of it, that they, even if they had opened them things, that they'd be fucked for resources trying to open too much new stuff at the same time.
they
That would be
also
very sad if
Well,
that's
that's a
the
large part of
reason
it
why.
too. Is that there are so many. There's a huge labor shortage for that kind of work in Florida right now. One, because there are so many projects at once, and Disney hasn't even started all their work yet. And two, the lovely governor in Florida has kicked out or ostracized so much of the workforce there in the construction industry. There are houses, entire complexes, apartment buildings sitting empty because they can't find workers to finish the work.
Universal has a lot of manpower in that is spread out right now. They have a lot of people in Texas working
exactly.
on the kids resort and Vegas for the Horror Nights experience over there. So
Not
they're
to mention
spread
you
out.
not to mention you probably have to open up something new in Beijing. Beijing is going what when Epic opens it's going to be 2-3 years old. You got to have a
Yeah.
new edition of Phase 2 drop over there. You also have Japan where they're trying to put Pokemon in.
And
The rumor is
Singapore, they're
that they're going to try
replacing
to
the
do
Matic.
Marvel
They're
with
they're adding
Pokemon in.
minions. They haven't opened minions in
You have
Singapore.
to do Minions all the way out in Singapore. Like they are
Right.
100%, and a lot of Minions at least is just taking shit off the shelf and throwing it in there. That's what every Minions land is.
I
But
think they're getting
but
Nintendo
also
as well.
but also guys, the practicality of it is that all of the projects on the Epic site are somewhat coming to a close, and then people will either be available, be either offered work with Universal, or they'll go and find work at Disney or wherever because
Yeah,
they
I was
need
gonna
need
bring
to
that up
work. Not
too.
everyone's on contract. Some people are on fixed term projects.
I was
So
gonna bring that up because Disney has a lot on the table that they're gonna need people for, and it's gonna be
Oh,
easy for them to poach people.
I'm not looking at it so much as these people are going to be missing work and everything. And from what I've heard, there's been like a mass pull for people in Imagineering to show up. They're trying to get in their final stages. But I think again, this Universal, this we've seen this before. We're Epic to me very much, and it's always felt like this ominous thing. But as it gets closer and closer, there was something in the back of my head that never 100% got me on the hype train about this being like this grand, prosperous thing for Universal. It feels like Euro Disney. It just does. And I think a lot of people are gonna get laid off. I think a lot of things are gonna get cut on and gonna be on the cutting room floor. I don't think this is gonna go 100% the way that a lot of people think it's going to go because Universal isn't. I don't think Universal is playing it smart. I think they're trying to do way too much, way too fucking fast, and they need to slow the fuck down just a little bit,
All right,
just a little
we
bit.
got to move on from Epic Universe and talk about Epic Universe. We
The
got some
monsters
new.
animatronics, please. Can we talk about them?
Yes, that's what I'm going to. We got some new footage of these animatronics, the werewolf especially, and the Monsters Unchained attraction that's going inside Universal's Epic Universe Park at Universal. Um, are we impressed? I'm impressed, but I was made to feel guilty for being impressed.
Why?
Because Disney people were like, "That's the Yeti did that 20 years ago. What's the big deal?" Which
I
one, it did not have anywhere near that level of articulation, especially in the face. But
It's mostly the grab. I
yeah,
I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm impressed. Bitch, show me them in 5 years. Universal can't keep up animatronics that they wholly own and that's a property that they wholly own for sour shit. Look at ET. Look at
ET
Jurassic
is
Park.
uh,
Look at that shit.
they
They
were
just
made in the
those are
updated.
80s.
those are
Look
from the
at look at
90s though. Those are like yeah.
You're talking 5 years ago. Look at the
These are
Hagrid's
way more
animatronics.
complex things, and you think these motherfuckers gonna sit up here and be able to fix them?
Look at the
They use
Nintendo World
screens
Yes,
for
look at
animatronics in
Hagrid.
Japan.
Look at Kong.
Look at Japan's
Look at the
Nintendo World.
Indominus
It's
Rex in
spotless.
Japan.
We should not talk about stuff that they do not own.
They just
Let's not
redid
bring
all
up
the Mummy
Harry Potter or
animatronics.
Nintendo because Nintendo, like I said, they are using 50% of their maintenance budget just for Nintendo over in USJ.
Okay, well let's look at the Mummy animatronic and how well that still
That shit
moves.
just got fixed after how long?
So
That man's
are they
mouth
supposed to
didn't
fix
move
it or
for a
not, Jay?
decade.
Are they supposed to fix it or not?
No, I'm saying they should fix it, but it took them 5 years to fix the bitch. We had 5 to
But it's
7 years
fixed
of that
now.
motherfucker.
They can't win with
Still
you. They
don't talk
cannot
right.
win with you.
I'm not
They
saying
show
that.
you
I'm
a
just saying, can
world-class
they upkeep
animatronic.
it? Can they upkeep it? All
You
right,
said
fine. When
that.
y'all
I said
having
I'm
fucking
impressed by
memes
it.
on
These are going to be
goddamn Twitter in the
indoors.
next 5 years, how ugly these fucking things have aged because Universal don't take care of them, fine. I'm going to sit here and be right later.
These are going to
I'm going
be
to use some Twitter
indoors.
site. Suck my dick from the back.
Hagrid and Scrooge are looking fine, and Warner Brothers isn't even breathing down their necks
Hagrid is
anymore.
something that J.K. Rowling makes them keep up with. Bitch, don't bring that up. Don't bring up anything that they do not wholly own
Uh,
themselves.
Okay, in 5 years
That's
we're
What
gonna
are
look
we
at
yeah.
this
talking
ride.
about here?
In 5 years, we're gonna look at this ride, and if we'll
At
see.
5 years, Wolfman's jaw is going to be sideways, just like the raptors in Jurassic Park. He's going to be
Well, let's talk
coming
about
at you
Tiana's
literally
mouth falling apart.
sideways.
That's a good point, Jay. Let's talk about Tiana's mouth bursting at the seams
Hey,
after 3 months.
hey, get in the booth and
No,
fix
he's
it.
quiet
Shit.
now.
No, I said get in the booth and fix it. Get in the booth and fix it. Get in the booth and fucking fix
I
it.
think it's maybe it's my age, but I think it's very cynical to see something great and new and groundbreaking and industry leading, and immediately your first thought is it'll break in 5 years. It doesn't matter. I think it's just
I
very
need
Yeah.
to see
cynical and
them
Breaks in
very
upkeep it.
5 years.
What's the
It's
obtuse.
better
point of
than
having
Disney.
these things
Disney's
around for 10 plus
animatronics
years
break
if for
less
like half
time
of
than
the
that.
years they look like dog turd?
What? How long did it take Tiana's animatronics to break? 1 day. How long did it take the
One
Yeti to
day.
break? Fucking a year. How long did it take
And then
for us
they
to
went
see?
in and fixed it.
How long did it take for us to see the Navi animatronic break and
I'm
emote
not
on that?
arguing that. I'm saying for them to fix it. If you see something wrong, fix it. Jurassic Park is still sitting there right now after several refurbs, and that raptor's jaw is still crooked. What the
You're,
fuck are we doing here?
have you been on Jurassic World in Hollywood where they spent all the money
Oh
on?
my
Like,
fucking god! They don't. You know what? Let's hurry up and finish this bullshit. Let's hurry up and finish this. Y'all can jerk off to your little animatronics, and then in 10
World,
years, when they don't look the way that you guys want them to, you're gonna bitch about that.
Jurassic World in Hollywood.
Yes, when the time
and
comes, we'll hold him
Beijing.
accountable and criticize when the
All I'm
time
saying is
comes. I'm not
Universal
here
doesn't
to
have a good track
preemptively,
record of keeping up
5
with
years
animatronics. That's all I'm
beforehand,
saying.
half a
Jay,
decade beforehand,
Jurassic
say,
World.
"Oh no,
At the
Jurassic
very
World.
least, Disney
looks
gets in the
great."
booth and fixes that shit. ET still is doing the rap battle
They
finger.
haven't fixed the
Jurassic
Yeti.
World.
They haven't fixed Tiana.
Jurassic
What do you mean
World.
they
That
get in the booth
thing
and fix it? What are they?
constantly gets fixed.
Jurassic World.
You don't even live down
Beautiful
here.
attraction.
What are you talking about?
Beautiful
Uh,
attraction.
None of you know it's from the movie. Shut up.
Jurassic World.
Get out of here.
The
Get out of here.
Indominus
Come on.
Rex is the best
I've been on that thing
animatronic. Period.
11 times.
The Indominus Rex.
It's amazing. It's amazing, and it works. And it's been working.
Apparently, the
That's
Dominus
a film
Rex's
weekend.
skin is slashed up under the mechanism.
He's got a little small scrape under his knee, Chris.
Hey, you can see it. Hey, let's just hurry and wrap this up.
Jay has
Wrap
done
this
a
up.
forensic autopsy on the animatronic, and actually, if you check, the subcutaneous tissue is a little
That's
bit
what
scratched.
I was told.
So
I haven't been there to
technically,
see it. I heard that like its skin is slashed, and you can see a lot of it. It's still moving fluidly. It's just
Universal
that the
cannot
skin
win with you,
slashed.
Jay. Universal can't win with you, man.
I'm not
All right,
saying
let's move
that.
on.
I think they've done some great things. I'm just saying, can it? You know what? Let's hurry up and end this shit. Let's hurry up and finish this shit. Let's go. What's the next topic?
Hang
Let's
on
do
a
this. Want to do
second.
the cake? You want the shit on Disney? Bring up the cake shop.
Let's
Bring up the cake shop.
No,
Bring
we're
up-
still on
bring up
Universal.
the cake shop.
We're still on
You want
criticizing
me to- you just
Universal
want me to
because
pass
we
out
got
my shit?
announcements.
Let's do this. Bring up the
of-
cake shop. I
we got
something to say about
announcements
that.
of the
Jurassic
houses
World.
that are opening at Halloween Horror Nights Las Vegas. And apparently they released the lineup of houses that are going to be in this attraction in Las Vegas. We don't have the details of exactly where in Vegas this thing is going, but clearly Universal is chasing kind of that Meow Wolf type of crowd around the country. So,
Well, yeah,
but
it's literally
people
attached
were not
to Meow
happy. Oh, is that where it's going?
Yeah, isn't it attached to Omega Mart? Area 51? Is that where?
Okay,
Omega Mart
I didn't know
is?
that. Yeah, perfect. Yeah, okay. So that's where it's going. But people are not happy with the selection of houses, right?
Yeah, it's the
Yeah.
best thing ever since sliced bread. Universal's killing it. They're killing it, man. Perfect. I cannot
lot of
wait to
the-
get on the flight. I cannot wait to get on the flight and go all the way to Vegas to go do, it sounds like they got Jack in them. It sounds like it's going to be they got the new Exorcist in that bit.
'Cause they
Did y'all
don't
see the new Exorcist? That new Exorcist was fire, wasn't it? Universal just keeps winning, right?
Because they don't have animatronics.
It made $1 billion, right?
It made a billion,
It's made $1 billion.
$2 billion. $2 billion.
So a lot of regulars, Halloween Horror Nights regulars, were upset because these houses are not original and they're repeat houses. Some of them repeat several years in Hollywood and Orlando, and they're not happy with not getting original houses in Las Vegas.
Man.
And my take was, well, it's not for regular Universal HHN guests. It's for the average
100%
tourist
right.
flying in from Michigan, right?
Yep. No, you are 100% right. These people are idiots, and they should never question Universal's judgment ever. They're perfect.
I would
in
never
every
call someone who
goddamn
disagrees
way.
with me an idiot.
They're great.
All right. Let's get to Jay's topic of choice. Topic du jour for Jay, the cake bake shop. Can someone read off the prices for me? Because every time I see them, I just kind of go into a fugue state and refuse to believe they're real.
Disney is fucking up, right?
And
Why
some of
would
them have
they
been
open-
adjusted. This is in Disney Springs, right? In Orlando.
I think it's at the boardwalk, that piece of garbage that they own.
Oh,
Man,
it's that boardwalk. Okay.
Yes, that
it's that
boardwalk. It replaced the coveted ESPN zone. Why they got rid of this is beyond me. Why they got rid of it for this is beyond me.
Because they
I
didn't
mean,
want
the
dancing
prices are
every Sunday in the
insane.
sports bar.
The prices are insane. $15 for a croissant?
Oh my
$15
gosh.
It's-
$15
There was like
for
a $20 ham and cheese sandwich.
$28 for a slice of cake. Man, Disney is really putting the screws to their consumers. But you know who's not? Universal Studios.
Well, it
folks.
sounds like this wasn't Disney. This was the Cake Bake Shop, which is based out of where I am here in central Indiana, where the original one is, up in Carmel, which is a very wealthy, it's one of the wealthiest zip codes in the country, just 10 miles north of where I live. And so, and the prices up here are really expensive even for Indiana, and they took them and almost doubled them for their Disney World location.
They are gentrifying my boardwalk. My
Oh
favorite
my
hotel.
God, man. Yeah, right. Right? You know that place that was full of white people has even more white people now. That's crazy, B.
Now
They're
the
gentrifying it, man.
Who
The
was paying
ESPN
$800 a
zone.
night for a hotel room?
Yeah, man. Like, remember back in the day when remember back in the day when you had two black people stay there, and now there's like none of them. Oh my God, they're
I don't
totally
know.
gentrifying
They got
Boardwalk.
rid of the clown pool, so I think that invited a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean, I'm telling you, Disney's fucking up, man. Disney's. I don't even know why Disney let the cake bake shop come down there and do those prices. And this isn't even me being like that. I'm just, you know how expensive you have to be for theme park people to be like, wait a minute. You know how like expensive you have to be for theme
It was
park people to
obscene.
literally
I
go,
mean,
that's too expensive.
and they had to
Disney
lower
fans of
them.
all people.
They had to lower them because it was so ridiculous. Like
That's we pay
$26
ridiculous
slices of
crap.
cake.
We spend so much money. I saw a platter of the French toast from it was like $11-12 for the French toast at Pandora, and I'm literally saying to myself like, that's not a bad deal. Like that's even though it's just a slice of it,
Yeah.
two slices of French toast that's probably reheated for like twelve
Last week I
dollars, and I was
was
okay with it. So man, this shit's
last week I
expensive.
was staying in Miami with my daughter, and we were in South Beach at a luxury resort, a pretty high end resort, and we were by the pool for the day, and the cabana person came by and took her order, and I said I'll have a bottle a beer for me and a bottle of water for my daughter. I said, all right, you want a bottle of water? She said yes, and give her some water. The bottle of water was $7.
Please.
Chris,
$7 for a bottle of water. And you all know me, my frugality. And I expect to pay more when I'm at a luxury resort. I get it. I'm with my daughter. I spoil her. I get it. This was like cake bake level. And the sad part is that you don't know until you get the bill. And I got the bill and it was $7 plus gratuity
Good
for a
God.
bottle of water. We had to change and go to the airport to fly out. So we didn't even finish the $7 bottle of water.
Good God.
you
Tragic.
gotta at least refill the $7 bottle of water 3 times to get your money's worth. All right,
Yes, we
guess
didn't
the
even
price.
finish it.
2 crab cakes at the cake bake shop for
Oh,
dinner. Guess the price.
is it an entree or an appetizer?
An entree.
Oh my
$47.
god, that's got to be at least $60.
50.
47.
50.
I was only off by
Oh,
$3. Disney, you
Yeah.
fucking up, man. Folks, go to Universal if you want the deals.
I mean, there's nothing that is affordable like that you can eat and be like, yeah, I got my money's worth. A side of fresh fruit is $7.
Man, you can get that for $3.50 at Universal, folks. Literally half the price. I think I'm joking, but I think I'm dead ass on that. I think it's really a side of fruit is $3 and 50
Probably.
cents at Universal.
They're gonna raise
my
the
god. Well,
prices.
that's the pineapple things at Disney are like $5 on them by themselves. Those little pineapple
Tragic.
Well,
skewers.
wait till Epic opens and all the restaurants in the middle, like the hub area, what is it, Centennial Park. Wait until all those are like, you could probably get a whole pizza from Pizza Moon for like $15 or something. Or,
It's
what do
I
you?
don't understand why. I mean, I get why Cake Bake Shop thought they could charge these prices. They one have to cover their Disney rent. Two, Disney is getting a portion of everything they sell that comes out of that place. Three, they figure we're in the boardwalk. Rooms cost $600 a night. These people have the money. But
Yeah,
it's still a bit. It shows Disney's and Cake Bake Shop's arrogance.
that's the thing. This is like a Four Seasons resort restaurant, not I mean,
Yes,
Especially
it's
when half that's more than half that stuff's gonna be pre-made, pre-packaged crap.
yep.
yeah,
That's what I don't like.
yeah.
I'll pay for fresh food. I'll pay for handmade fresh food.
You show up in the afternoon. Everything was made in the morning, early morning hours.
God.
Or the night before.
Heck, what's crazy is Gideon's is right around the corner, and you can get the same size of cake for like $8.
Yeah, and people
So
like
what does that
say they
tell
like
you?
Yes.
Gideon's more.
Like, why would I would take the bus? I would take the pilgrimage all the way to Disney Springs instead. And most people would
You'd
probably
save
do
money.
that because
People bring that shit home with them.
that's 3 to 4 times the amount of money it costs for a slice of cake, mind you, at Gideon's. And even though Gideon's line is longer, and even though Gideon's you're gonna have to get like maybe be put into a virtual queue, at least it's not $28 and they expect you to also tip at the end of that bitch.
Yeah, I think Cake Bake Shop has a very small window in which they have to hit some revenue targets to justify this location,
Probably.
to justify the amount of rent they're paying Disney, and to justify the amount. I'm almost sure Disney is getting north of 20% of their
Hell, how long did
gross.
it take for them to build? This feels like it was built in like three. It took 3 years for this to come to fruition.
Yeah,
It
If
was a
we
yeah.
long
So I
time.
bet the owners of Cake Bake Shop are saying we got to hit our numbers fast, and we got to hit them
Yeah.
really well, because if this doesn't work in the first year, we're done and we're bankrupt, and the location here in Indiana closes also. So,
It took one
um,
big. I'm surprised they didn't just want to go to Disney Springs. Hell, the Summer House opened up having cookies and cakes as well next to Gideon's. Add one more. Disney doesn't care if you have multiple of one thing in there. Shit, there's a bakery. There's the Antoinette's bakery too there. You guys could fit right
yeah.
in. Those are all thriving and surviving,
And
or
to
at
answer
least
your question,
surviving.
Ryan, as to why the ESPN was it ESPN Club or ESPN Zone? What was it?
Zone.
Club, I think.
Was
Maybe
it
Zone.
that?
both. Who knows? I think it was. I think it was
To answer
Zone.
your question as to why that closed, Disney found that too many men, especially dads, were spending too much time in that place drinking beer, watching sports, enjoying their vacation, and not in the theme parks or in a shop. And that's why it closed down, because
Wait,
they were losing money
Yeah,
by serving people with a sports bar.
yeah.
wait,
They
but they
have the
got rid
sports
of.
bar at Disney Springs now, but
Yeah. But then they opened up the Boardwalk Brewery thing that was there
that's
for like
closed now. Big
immediately
River.
after.
Big River Grill is gone. Boardwalk is going through a phase. I don't get this, man. They're gonna close
But
Jelly Rolls. If we take a broader look, they're closing
But yeah, let's
Jelly
do Jelly
Rolls.
Rolls now. Why?
wasn't it just a rumor?
It is, but I don't know. They they apparently their rent is too high, and they're not gonna
How long
stay.
has Jelly Rolls been there? One of my little
Since it
sister
opened, it's the
and her
last.
best friend.
It is the
They love
last
going.
remaining boardwalk venue since it opened.
Okay, so here's the
Wow.
here's the thing I'll tell you right now. This is me being mad sincere. Pat O'Brien's is better anyway. No $20
Is that at
cover.
Port Orleans?
Oh, that's true. Yeah, Jelly Rolls does have a cover.
Jelly Rolls has a $20 cover, and Pat O'Brien's is just way better. Go to Pat O'Brien's. Universal killed it with Pat O'Brien's. Free? I get to get as long as you got free parking, baby. Go to Pat O'Brien's. Don't waste your time with Jelly Rolls.
Yeah,
Don't waste your time with Jelly Rolls. That's a Jalen Harvey
Wow.
and
Universal
Bob
tip.
Marley's is right next to it. You have that
Shit, I'm
1-2
surprised that
punch.
Atlantic. I'm surprised that Atlantic Dance Hall is still open.
Is it?
I don't even know why they keep opening that. Cause no, anytime I've gone to Atlantic Dance Hall, it's almost always empty, and it's or
They
has very
I
minimal
think they
people
have
inside
it.
of it.
It's available as a private space, so you can rent it out. I think they added like video walls.
I
Too.
guess. I guess they make enough money that it generates more
So,
money than it is for them to run it. So maybe it's okay to have it
well, let's
open. But
think
that's
about a
okay.
little. Let's do a little MBA, M as in Masters MBA strategy as to why Atlantic City Dance Hall would be empty in the evenings and late nights. Why do you
People
think it
tired
is?
from the park.
Everyone's going to Disney Springs.
That too.
They're tight. No, Jay got it. They're tired from the parks, one, and two, as opposed to 15, 20 years ago when you could stay out late. The pressure now to get up early and rope drop because
Yep.
you have
You're
that
right.
early morning rope drop benefit. If
And the
I'm on
boy.
vacation at Disney, I've been on vacation at Disney, I'm not staying out past 10 p.m. or
Yeah.
11 p.m.
Oh yeah. The
because I
culture.
know if I want to ride the next big ride, I got to get up at 7 a.m. and do my fast passes or my lightning, whatever the hell they're called now, my virtual queues.
Yeah.
So I'm not staying out late. I'm not partying
Yeah.
anymore.
It's too
Hell,
bad because the nightlife used to be so great. You could stay at the park until
Yeah.
midnight,
at the
1
very least,
a.m.
you can say about Universal, they closed their parks early enough and pushed people through City Walk on purpose. I
Right.
mean, it's just you can catch people through that. That's another win for Universal folks. They're really killing
That's
it over there.
an interesting example of how planning your day at a theme park has changed at a Disney theme park has changed so much. It's now affecting how tourists experience nightlife at Disney World. I
Yep.
was just at Coronado Springs earlier this year, and that place was a ghost town by 10:30 p.m. And my daughter and I were walking around the property. We went to the food court and here and there and around the lake and everything. It was a ghost town after 10:30. We were on a cruise ship last week and it was bumping till 2 a.m.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I can
One
see
thing.
that. And
No, go
go
ahead.
ahead, Ryan.
I was gonna change topics. So what were you gonna say?
Oh, I was just saying. I mean, with a resort like Boardwalk in particular that has so many little shops and so many dining areas and a good plethora of bars. Not to mention just that entire loop with Boardwalk, Yacht and Beach, and with Swan and Dolphin. There's a lot of stuff that you could do during nightlife. If you're a local, odds are you've been out there. If you're a cast member, you've been out there and you've had a time. Or if you're just a local person who wants to just go from the park and just hang out around there, it has a lot of fun stuff to do, and it was built with that in mind.
Yeah.
But
I do
I
want to
don't know
cover
if
the staying on the Swan and Dolphin just real quick. That they are
Yes.
spending 275 million to renovate it, and they're building an expansion to their
God,
convention center, which is needed
God.
for them. But I like this. I love the Dolphin. Think it's great. I want to stay there all the time. The proximity of the parks alone is
Yeah.
worth it. The friendship boats.
This is the second. I think
The
it's one
easy
of the
access to
only.
Hollywood Studios.
Yeah, it's perfect. I they're going to make it bland as hell now.
Yeah, it's gonna look
They
like.
will.
Well, it is
They
owned by
will
Marriott.
Disneyfy.
It is owned by Marriott, so
They will Disneyfy their
it's gonna look
rooms.
like a Marriott.
Oh my God, that's just so sad and how dynamic that building is, and they're just going to make it look like the wing of an airport. It just,
I don't know. Did
damn,
you see
Disney's
the
really,
concept art for it?
they're really losing it. But that Grand Helios though, that Grand Helios, y'all saw that? They're
Yeah, I'm
killing
not
it.
that
I saw the
impressed.
prices.
Universal
But
killing
yeah,
it.
but for the prices I saw, I ain't mad.
Universal killing it,
And I'm
right?
telling you
You
this
know?
now because Eric and I are looking. Like I said, we're cruising out of Southern California next year, and we're gonna go in a day early and spend a day at Universal Hollywood, and spend the day at the park there. And I'm looking at the prices for Universal Hollywood hotels. Oh my God, it's like staying at the damn Polynesian.
Hmm.
It's just a regular hotel in Los Angeles.
Jeez. Yeah, that's not worth it. Isn't there? I mean, I don't know. Moving on. Do you
I'm
want
just
to
looking at
keep on
their
news?
sponsored hotels around the park. Yeah. So I'm just going through your list here, Ryan.
We got Bake Shop. We got. They announced the Candlelight Processional narrator.
That's. Can I do Hall of Presidents? Hall of Presidents.
Yeah.
It's not closing. It's not going to close.
No, it's not.
Not
Why?
closing. The maintenance costs are so low for that attraction, and it plays a role. We talk about when it comes to like NBA players. Not everyone needs to be a superstar. Some guys are meant to come in for 5 minutes and just relieve the bench and not step on their own shoelaces. Like, and if they're good in the clutch, they're good. Like T.J. McConnell for the Pacers. Not every attraction needs to be a 5-star attraction. Hall of Presidents at Magic Kingdom plays a role, a serious role, when it comes to one, large capacity, two, air conditioning, and
But
three, it's low maintenance costs.
large capacity, but is that capacity being used? Here's the point I'm going to make. They
It's
can't do
used when they
anything.
need
They
it,
can't
when they need it
replace.
most.
They can't replace Hall of Presidents with anything other than something that can fit into that theater. So it's going to
Yep.
be a show. We can put a show
Yep.
in there that's a better draw than Hall of Presidents. That
That's
building's
it.
connected to Peter Pan and Columbia Harbor House, so you can't like put a ride in
Right.
there or disturb it.
Yeah.
So
Just
just
change the
And
subject
this is,
matter.
and it's 2024. And we have the new woke Disney. There's no way in hell when the first black woman president is elected. There's no way in hell they're gonna go. Oh, we're closing that right now. This is the
exactly.
new
That's
woke
the
Disney.
only
They're not.
reason
They're not
That's
that
why.
true.
stupid.
That's the only reason why I put
They're not
this.
that stupid.
That's the only reason why I put this news story in there. Is because there
I
was a
mean,
rumor that it was going to close, but the fact that Joe Biden said he's out changed Disney's mind about that. If Trump wins, they're
well,
going to close it.
somebody
If Trump wins, they're going to close it. If Kamala wins, they're
they're
going
going
to
to
keep
keep
it.
it. 100%.
I agree.
No,
I agree with you on that.
I can see that.
I
I can
agree.
see that. I can see that. And if it goes I mean, shit, they should probably close it anyway. But I mean, let's let these 8 years play out if
Why?
she does, and then get rid of it. What the hell else
Why
is
should they
it?
close it anyways?
I guess it's just fucking boring. And I also think, what's the point of having Liberty Square nowadays with what they're redoing with that entire land? The Rivers of
So
America
you
are
and I
leaving
don't
and
get too
becoming
cocky when we're
cars.
walking through that park. They want to remind us where we came from.
Yeah,
That's why.
Who's this we?
Disney's gonna be so evil if they get rid of American history.
Oh my god. Oh my god. They
Now I
already are
could
kind
see
of
them
doing it
if
with
they're
putting
gonna if
Walt
they're
replacing half of the Lincoln shows are going to be replaced with just Walt Disney's animatronic.
Yeah,
that's what I'm
Cheesing
that's what
off
I was
about
gonna say.
Disneyland.
If this thing takes off in Disneyland, I could see them taking that and cloning it and putting it in
Yeah.
Liberty Square instead.
Yeah. I
I
can see
could
them
see
just
that.
giving us the Walt show in Liberty Square because
And
that's
they
the
love
easiest
building
way.
things in twos
Yeah.
anyway. So they have tools and animatronics or whatever they're gonna build ready to go. So
there was
Yeah.
other
I could
rumors that
very
it would
easily
be
see that.
become a Muppet show.
If that happens, then
Not
they
gonna
could.
happen.
If that did happen, they can finally close Muppet Vision. They'd have a replacement for it, which would
Yeah.
solve one problem, and they could just be like, "Look, we can put
Except
Ron
Bob
Perlman."
Iger hates the Muppets, so
Yeah, I mean, shit. Say what you want. He gave him a shot on Disney Plus twice.
Is Tommy
and it
still
was
here?
huge. He died.
Hasn't said anything. Oh no, he isn't. What happened?
So we have a closing date for Chester and Hester's Dino-Rama in Animal
Oh yeah.
Kingdom. As we get closer and closer to the end of the dinosaur land in Animal
Yeah.
Kingdom, I've made my piece. I said goodbye earlier this year. The crocodile's gone now in its little exhibit. Um, Anything else to say about this land before it goes away forever?
Mm,
You go, Ryan.
I mean, I'll miss it. Dinosaur is definitely at one point was definitely in my top 10 rides ever. After the way it was treated and the maintenance, all the dinosaurs looking goofy as hell.
Right? Yeah.
Eh,
See, but Disney
they
does this.
kind
This
of
is a thing that
they
like what
also kind of
MLB
tone
owners
it
do.
down to
This is
make it.
like when the this is like when the owner of the Oakland A's created a really shit team and a really bad experience, right? For the athletics fans in Oakland. And he said, "See, no one's coming to the games. We got to move." Yeah, because you made the product shitty. It's not inherently their fault. It's because you made it miserable, and then you're complaining that people are miserable, and it sucks because
It's
you
like
made
the
it that way.
subway meme.
Just so
It's like
you
the subway
facilitate.
meme.
It's
Why
like
would
Jerry Reinsdorf is doing with the goddamn White Sox.
it's well to put it in like non-sports terms. It's like going to Subway and complaining about the sandwich that they made you. My brother in Christ, you made the sandwich. You picked the toppings. You
You,
Yeah,
picked what was gonna go on it. Like my brother
this
in
thing is too
Christ.
salty.
Like, oh my God, no! You asked for like two. You asked for double meat and extra bacon. What do you think was gonna happen? Like, my brother in Christ, you should have seen this coming. And I think with
I could see this being a new trend for Disney, where they just neglect a ride so much, fans just go, "Get it out of here! Get it out of here! We hate this," so
and
they don't
real
complain
talk,
when it's finally gone.
well,
you could say that nobody went there, and everything like that. But Disney manipulates that park to be able to send people where they want them to go with those wait times by artificially changing them
yeah.
and moving them. They already know how to move a crowd and get them over there. If they wanted people at Dinosaur, they would. And we see that they want them to be over there several times a day at Animal Kingdom to keep the ecosystem flowing.
And Chris,
So
if that's their plan with imagination, it's working for me.
it's working.
Exactly. Yes.
The
Shit.
Make it miserable.
Indiana Jones replacement I'm excited for, but the original version of Dinosaur with all the effects working, the pterodactyl flying
Yeah.
over your head and the other things and the loudness, the just ear-piercing sound effects, like that tops most rides for me because it scared the hell out of me.
It's one of
It's
those
still pretty
things.
loud.
It used to be so loud.
It just, I don't know. I think my gripe with it is that they shouldn't be taking away anything from I was thinking about this the other day. I was watching a review time video. Shout out to those guys. They were doing a breakdown of Disney's $60 billion that they wanted to put into the parks. And even if you take 30, say there's 12 parks in the world, and you have, if there's 12 parks in the world, you have what? That's 5 billion for each park. And even if you cut that in half and only give 30 to the parks and give the other 30 to other endeavors, you have
Cruise ships.
2.5 billion. A billion is what went into Galaxy's Edge. So each park could get at least 2.5 Galaxy Edges worth of stuff
But that's not
each.
counting for the cruise industry, which takes
That's
up
what I
half
said.
of
I
that.
said if you took
Oh, 30.
30,
Okay,
you
okay, yeah.
cut the 60 in half, you give
Gotcha.
30 to the parks, and
Yep.
you give 30 over to the cruise line and whatever else you want to do. You
Okay.
would still have 2.5 billion for each park that they have.
And Hong Kong shouldn't deserve that much, so we get their cut.
Hong Kong deserves everything, baby boy. They gypped it out of the very beginning.
They have negative profit.
Why do you think they have negative profits? They just gave all of the leftovers from Disneyland. That
Yeah,
park
but
was built on a budget. It's
yeah,
the Walt Disney Studios of castle parks.
I guess. But
Like
the
they've been
attendance just
I
hurts.
think the attendance is crap because at the very beginning it was shown to be a crap product. And now they're doubling back to try to fix that. They've been trying to fix Hong Kong Disneyland for the past 10 almost 20 years now.
Have yeah, I guess. I guess it does deserve a lot of money, but I don't think it deserves it more than us.
I still even then 2.5 billion. I don't remember all of the breakdowns from the review time video, but 2.5 billion to each park. You could expand out Animal Kingdom and do a real Encanto land if you wanted to. You could fix Dinosaur, spend 500 million to fix Dinosaur and fix that area up with something. You could do more. You said that you're going to put 60 billion into these parks. Well, motherfucker, I don't see it. I don't see where the money's going to go.
Villains Land,
Yeah, I
hopefully.
think it's. But I think the problem is that with these new announcements we got from D23 is that everyone knows Disney is going to build one e-ticket, maybe a flat ride,
Yep.
with a bunch of shops and restaurants surrounding it, and
Yep.
they know there's going to be almost no hope to get on that one e-ticket because they've been
Yep.
beaten to death by virtual queues over the last 5 years,
Yep.
and that's why there's such a dearth of excitement and hype around this. Because even if they do build a great e-ticket, the chances of me getting on it is pretty low.
100. I feel like that's the problem that we're having with Disney side of things. Even with them opening up the new land in portions of Indy of it looks like Encanto is going to be the one to get started first, but I have a feeling Indy is going to be the first one to open just because they have the skeleton and everything there. They have to build Encanto from the ground up. So I can see Indiana Jones opening first. But even then, Indiana Jones is going to just. I don't think they're going to do like what they did in Japan, where they make it an electrical EMV ride. It's going to still be the same hydraulic system that's unreliable. I think that, and they're going to put boarding groups on that, even though they know what to expect with this thing. I don't think it's going to be a Tiana situation where we're going to get all of these new animatronics, because none of the other Indiana Jones rides have but like what, two animatronics? You have two
Yeah.
indies in there. No, three if you count the one hanging down. You're not going to get a lot of most Indiana Jones rides aren't animatronic heavy. They just aren't. Which is what made Dinosaur special. It was
Right.
animatronic heavy.
Right.
So
Yeah, I sense I don't sense as much excitement as I think there should be around these projects because people are already just dreading just the experience of going there and trying to get on this new popular ride.
on top of that, who knows if they're actually going to build all this shit anyway?
Yeah.
There's also that too.
And
Who
Guardians will
knows?
still be on a virtual queue at that point too,
And
5 years down the
Guardian's
road.
still gonna be on a fucking virtual queue.
Yeah, that's the plus about redoing Dinosaur as Indiana Jones, that you won't have I mean, you might have show problems, but you shouldn't have ride breakdown problems.
I think it's smart if they kept Dinosaur open all the way up until the point up until the point in Kanto opens, and then do Indy. That would help out a lot because you close down both of those at the exact same time. Y'all remember what Animal Kingdom used to feel like back in 2012? Y'all
Yeah.
Yep.
remember that quarter day park feeling?
Or
You're
when
going to
it
do
opened.
Flight of
Yep.
Passage. You're going to do Navi River. You're going to go over to the safaris. If you're feeling daring, you might do Cali River Rapids. And then you're going to do, or you're going to do Tough to Be a Bug. And then you're going to do Everest. And then you're going to go home.
Well, I mean, you're talking
Because there's
about
No,
nothing
we
else
talked
to do at
about it
Animal
quite a
Kingdom.
bit.
you're talking about the peak at Animal Kingdom. Before
Oh, come on.
before Pandora, it was you go on Cali, you go on
You and
Kilimanjaro, and
Tim
that's it.
Grassi
You
are
go
going to
on
die
It's
on
Tough
that
to Be a
hill.
Bug. There was no Everest. Like when that park opened,
Peak
Right.
Animal Kingdom pre Everest? Do you not hear yourself right now?
What?
That was a big ass. That park was a big ass nothing. It's
Yeah,
insane.
I
It
know.
was a
You
big
couldn't
ass
even walk
nothing.
from
A pretty
Dinoland
big
to
ass
Asia.
nothing.
You had to go
Oh, I
back
forgot.
to
I
the.
forgot. Oh, and Tough to Be a Bug is going to close soon too
Yep.
for Zootopia. So
Yeah.
it's really about to feel like 2000. It's about to feel like 2004 again.
Yeah.
It'll feel
Bring
like
out the
2015, 2016 era DCA before Cars Land opens.
hell. They might
I guess
even
that was
bring out the Radio
2014-ish.
Disney
Yeah.
cruise just to make it that
Yeah.
authentic.
One. That would be
All right,
awesome.
we got time for one more quick thing, Ryan. What do you want to go to?
Well, Disney news is meh. I did prepare a lot about this Jungle Cruise refurb. So, the Jungle Cruise was looking pretty ragged before they closed it down. They painted a lot of stuff. They actually remodeled a lot of the rocks, and added new rock work to the lion scene where it's eating the zebra. So yeah, they put a lot of work in over there, and now they're doing the Christmas overlay again, Jingle Cruise. I have never seen that in person. I wish I could go down there and see it, but
It's cute. It's a fun little experience. I like it.
yeah.
Apparently, the rumor I heard about Jingle Cruise from it
Okay,
wasn't
that was your
accurate.
one thing.
Oh, well, we're not going
We
to do
didn't
Big Thunder.
finish talking about it.
I feel like Big Thunder was more important than Jungle Cruise, but okay.
Oh yeah, that's true. We can double it up. Big Thunder also closing, for like a year and a half. It'll be closed until probably
Again.
March 2026.
And that's
Hopefully,
going to be the only attraction. I mean, Tiana's going to be the only attraction in that land. I mean, the only ride in that land.
yeah. No Tom Sawyer, no Riverboat.
Yeah, because
for
that's
a while.
closing too, right? The boat, yeah.
Yeah,
Jeez.
those-
That hasn't been announced, but it will be.
Wow.
You got Country Bears and Tiana's. I think that's
Yeah.
probably why they redid Country Bears.
Wow.
Oh, that's 100%. I feel like they're
Could
going to
be.
redo all
Could
the
be.
Frontierland. They have the money.
Yeah.
Is Tommy back? What happened to Tommy? Has he said anything?
No,
on the
he
show?
died. All right. Ryan,
Air
where can we find you
Cruise?
online? Oh gosh, yes. Well, it was my second time on that ship in 2 months, 3 months, at Independence of the Seas. So wasn't too much to write home about. The big one, I'm going on the Norwegian Joy here in a couple of days. That's a ship with a go-kart track on top of it. That'll be interesting. So I have a lot more to say next episode about that particular cruise ship. And I really want Tommy to be here for it because he loves my cruise reviews so much. Ryan, where can we find you online?
I'm Imagineer6 on X.
Jay, where can we find you?
You guys can find me at TC Jaalin on Twitter, and you can also find me on Instagram at Tomorrow's Child.
And you can find me everywhere at Wakefield Report. We want to once again thank the My Spot for keeping us on the air.
Oh.
And we're on YouTube. Where do you find us on
Yes,
YouTube, Ryan? How
we
does this
are
work?
on
How do you work the
YouTube.
YouTube?
YouTube.com. I don't know what the URL is off the top of my head.
Oh my god!
You're gonna have to give me a second. Listen, there's a lot of YouTube channels. I told you there's.
Top notch. Why
I
can't
told
we
you
get
to take
sponsors? I
down-
wonder why.
It's okay. Everybody, it's
Hello,
No, I
theme park
think-
fans, and welcome to episode
Yeah,
93.
slash the e-ticket report. Okay,
The ticket report?
/ at the e-ticket report. Yes, the.
Okay,
Because you took
alright.
e-ticket report, and
That's-
there's another channel named e-ticket report up that only has a couple videos.
Oh my
We have
gosh.
most of the
All right.
episodes up, and we're
Oh.
in video format now, so check us out.
I do have one last announcement.
Go ahead.
This will be my last episode on the E-Ticket Report. I would like to thank Wakefield for having me. I mean, it's been a great time these past 3 years. You still gonna owe me that Victoria and Alberts, but no. I always say I was the only black person out my neck of the Disney community, and I always forget about you. But it's crazy to, you know, be on a podcast with you after all that bickering back and forth we did years ago. Ryan, it's been great growing up with you in this community, and it's been great to see how you've turned out as an adult, and you will always be my theme park rival. You've been 100% great these past few years, and it's crazy again to think that all three of us, if you told 14, 15-year-old me that I was going to be doing a podcast with Chris Wakefield and Ryan Kennedy
Hell no.
years ago, I probably would have called myself a slack-jawed idiot. But it's yeah, this is my final, comes abruptly, but I got a split.
All right. With that, that's all we have for this week's show. We'll see you all next time.
Appreciate you.
As Eric turns on the